Are you ready to test your knowledge and become the ultimate WrestleTrivia champion?
Yes! Woo!
This is Wrestling Jeopardy! And now, here is your host, Kevin J. Callis!
Thank you, wacky voiceover guy, and thank you everyone for joining us. This is Wrestling Jeopardy. It's the ultimate interactive game show where you're the contestant.
Believe me, this is the dance!
All right, go ahead and grab your buzzers. Let's play some Wrestling Jeopardy. 25 clues are on the board, plus a daily double and a bonus question, and they come from these categories, beginning with geography, followed by our visual category of the week, the WWF's New Generation. Up next is Batter Up, the Four Horsemen, and our fifth category, which is always voted on by you, the wonderful WrestleTrivia community. The three choices you had to choose from this week were, for all you animal lovers out there, canine compadres, feline friends, or slippery sidekicks. And the results show clearly that dogs are the best. The fifth category this week will be canine compadres. Aww. And that's how it means it's time for the 200-point Jobber round. Like I always say, it's the easiest round in Wrestling Jeopardy.
Would you please shut the hell up?
All right, let's begin our game with the first clue from geography, worth 200 points. While hosting WrestleMania 30, Hulk Hogan famously confused the Superdome in this U.S. city with the Pontiac Silverdome. In this case, the Hulkster's slip of the tongue was an honest mistake.
Yes, sir.
However, the correct answer here, brothers, is New Orleans, Louisiana. On to the second clue of the Jobber round. Name this New Generation Jokester. Who is Doink the Clown? Here comes the first clue from the category Batter Up, and it's worth 200 points. A baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, the notorious Barbie was his weapon of choice. Now, who else besides Mrs. Foley's baby boy could have created this? The correct answer, who is the hardcore legend, Mick Foley? Moving on, here comes the first clue from the category, the Four Horsemen, worth 200 points. Of the various good guys the Horsemen antagonized, their most famous rival was this son of a plumber. Who is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes? And let's close out the Jobber round with this clue from Canine Compadres, worth 200 points. In late 2024, WWE Shop unveiled an It's Slobbering Time t-shirt of this furry friend of CM Punk. The late Larry the Dog went from being a rescue to selling more merch than a lot of WWE superstars and legends. Did you get all 5 of those questions correct? If so, do me a favor, hit that like button and give this video a thumbs up. We kick off the 400-point round now with this clue from geography. At the 2009 Survivor Series, Chris Jericho wasted no time informing an idiot fan that he was not from Toronto, but rather from this city. Y2J made that fan look like a complete jackass. What is Winnipeg? On to another visual clue, worth 400 points. Name this New Generation personality. Who is the lovely and talented Todd Pettengill? Batter Up. Here comes another clue from Batter Up, worth 400 points. In the build-up to Bash at the Beach 1996, these outsiders were able to hold off a large portion of the WCW locker room by wielding aluminum bats. Who are Scott Hall and Kevin Nash? On to the 400-point clue from the category, the Four Horsemen. The famous quote associated with the legendary stable is, "Blank are forever, and so are the Four Horsemen." What are diamonds? And let's close out the 400-point round with another clue from Canine Compadres. This dog was a furry fixture of Monday Night Raw during Tori Wilson's tenure with WWE. Chloe was so popular that she even had her own WWE Superstar page and an action figure. Hopefully you're doing well so far because we have 15 questions left to go, plus a daily double, a bonus question, and final Jeopardy.
What? I don't think I'm trying to seduce you, do you?
Excuse me?
Let's begin the 600-point round now with another geographic clue from Geography. From 1979 to 1988, Polynesian Pro Wrestling was a prominent NWA-affiliated territory based in this U.S. state. Founded by High Chief Peter Maivia and with its headquarters in Honolulu, PPW was a cornerstone of wrestling history in Hawaii. On to another visual clue, worth 600 points. Name this Japanese new generation sensation. Who is Hakushi? Alright, here comes the point in the game where I'm feeling generous and I'm giving you the opportunity to double your score if you answer this question correctly. What was the name of Hakushi's manager? Formerly one half of the Orient Express, when Akio Sato became Hakushi's manager, he was renamed Shinja. Alright, we've reached the halfway point of the game now, and here comes the 600-point clue from Batter Up. Upon learning that he failed to make the final cut for a place in the Chicago White Sox minor league system, he took out his frustration by systematically splintering each of his bats against a nearby tree. I'd say that's pretty much on brand for the undeniable aggression that lived inside the Macho Man, Randy Savage. Here comes another clue about the Four Horsemen, worth 600 points. Initially an associate to the Horsemen, he was the first addition to the group after Ole Anderson was kicked out. Who was the total package? Lex Luger. Let's close out the 600-point round now with another clue from Canine Compadres. Arnold was a pit bull who served as the mascot for this tag team during their time in World Championship Wrestling in the late 80s and early 90s. Back in the day, the Steiner brothers ruled WCW's tag team scene, and Arnold was a staple of their success and unique tough guy image. Our 800-point round begins with a clue from the category Geography. Baron Mikkel Cicluna is the most famous man in sports entertainment to come from this tiny island nation in the Mediterranean Sea. The 1996 WWE Hall of Famer was also referred to as the velvet-caped villain from the Isle of Malta. The second clue of the 800-point round now is a visual clue. Name this new generation magician. Because he's appeared in countless online lists, Fantasio remains in the collective consciousness of wrestling fans despite only having one WWF appearance ever. Let's step back into the batter's box with this 800-point clue. On a December 2022 episode of NXT, she was attacked with her own baseball bat by Isla Dawn. Who is Alba Fire? Onto the 800-point clue from the Four Horsemen. Again in 2022, he secured ownership of the faction's trademark and other intellectual properties. Recently, Arn Anderson was able to enforce his rights as the sole proprietor to a faction he's synonymous with. And that brings us to the last clue of the 800-point round. All right, it's time for the Daily Double, and you know I've been tinkering with the idea of changing the name of the Daily Double and calling it the Showstopper, basically because we're stopping the show for a little bit. If you agree, if you like that, if you think it's a good idea, leave me a comment down below. But for now, the Daily Double comes to us from the category K9 Compadres. Place your wager now. All right, time is up, and here is the clue. Beast, the award-winning mastiff of this second-generation superstar, scoffs down approximately $250 worth of dog food every month. And when he and his prized pooch aren't in competition training, Dustin Rhodes likes to share pizza with his beloved show dog as a surprise cheat meal.
Why?
All right, here we go. Welcome to the most difficult part of the game. It's the main event. 5 1,000-point questions guaranteed to put your wrestling knowledge to the test.
Too many times you trade your passion for glory, huh? Yeah!
And let's begin with the final clue from geography. Isaac Yankem DDS was billed from this central Illinois city. Before he landed his iconic gimmick as The Undertaker's brother Kane, Glenn Jacobs played an evil dentist from the toothy town of Decatur, Illinois. On to the final visual clue on the board. Name this new generation manager. Dirty Dutch Mantel supported wrestlers like Jacob and Eli Blue and Justin Hawk Bradshaw under the moniker of Uncle Zebekiah. And I hope you haven't struck out many times in this category. Here's your chance at 1,000 points here with the final clue from Batter Up. Of all the allies Chris Jericho has had during his AEW run, his most loyal companion has arguably been this aluminum baseball bat. Named after a former NHL hockey player who had the random talent of swallowing his tongue. I don't even know how you do that. The correct answer, who is Floyd? On to the last clue from the Four Horsemen, worth 1,000 points. His time as a horseman lasted for just 1 week in early 1989, after the stable was disbanded when J.J. Dillon went to the WWF. After turning on his tag team partner Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert and flashing the signature Horseman 4 fingers, a horse is a horse, of course, unless your name is Kendall Windham. Don't go anywhere, Final Jeopardy is up next. Let's close out the board with this final 1,000-point clue from K9 Compadres. The WWE was forced to pull this superstar from one of its featured matches on an episode of SmackDown Live in June 2018 after he was bitten by a police dog. As a standard pre-show bomb sweep was taking place, Shinsuke Nakamura's lower left leg was accidentally bit, forcing the King of Strong Style to miss a few weeks of action. Alright, 26 clues are down and only one separates you from becoming the undisputed WrestleTrivia champion. Let's turn now to Final Jeopardy and reveal the category. Chop it like it's hot. Alright, it's time for our multiple choice final clue. WWE superstar Asuka owns a hair salon in her native Japan called what? Is it A, Another Heaven, B, Dress to Impress, C, Kana Cuts, or D, Locks of Love? You have 15 seconds. Good luck. Now before we reveal the answer, big shout out to these fine folks right here who I'm going to start calling the IWC, the Inside Wrestle Trivia Club. And you can become one too and get all sorts of exclusive perks. All you got to do is click on the join button below or the link in the description. One of the most unique features of Asuka's in-ring attire is the different hair colors she's displayed over the years. The Empress of Tomorrow certainly knows what she's doing when it comes to hairdos, as she has her own hair salon in Yokohama, Japan, named Another Heaven. Thanks again so much for watching. Check out some of our other episodes of Wrestling Jeopardy like this one right here, and I'll see you next time.